Hey everyone, welcome back to the Monday Motivation Podcast. But it's on Thursday today. Why? Because today is a special anniversary of the No More Excuses podcast, where I encourage you to crush your obstacles and embrace the power of perseverance, right? I'm Sandi, the Badass Business Coach, and today is my 8th anniversary. I started this podcast in 2016. Yes, it's 2024, in case you're listening to this in 2034. Oh my gosh, this has been a crazy journey of unstoppable success. And I can't believe it's been 8 years. So cheers to 8 years. Here's to the next 8, right? Oh, time flies when you're on a mission to kick excuses in the ass and get them out of your life forever. But today, I just want to say thank you. I want to take a moment to celebrate this milestone. And yes, since it's normally on a Monday, it's a Thursday. It's kind of a what's been happening this week, but also let's talk about what is going to continue to happen. Well, since wherever we were in 2016 to where we all are today, I am grateful for you. And I appreciate each and every one of you who has joined me on this incredible, badass journey. 8 years of mostly a weekly podcast. Yes, it was until last year. At the end of last year, I just had a lot of shit going on. I've talked about it here and there, had some moved a couple times, not for anything bad, other than some construction and moving to just a new city, but also had some hand surgeries, knee surgery, had just a lot of shit going on, right? And I missed a few weeks here and there, but I heard from you and I appreciate that because this is it reminded me getting to this the end of the 8th year, I was thinking, why keep going, right? But 8 years of podcasting, 10 years of coaching, and over 29 years of a business owner. Let's talk about sticking with something. Yes, there's so many more years of growth, inspiration, and badassery, right? But I appreciate all of you who have been here, who've invested the time, and for sticking with whatever you're sticking with, whether it's a business venture, a personal goal, a project. Staying committed in the face of challenges is no easy feat. And I could have just said, okay, I missed a week here, I missed 2 weeks here, and went on, and then why keep going? But like I said, I heard from you, and it's so important to stay committed in the face of challenge. It's so important to cultivate resilience, right? Sticking with something builds character. It teaches us discipline, and perseverance, and the value of hard work. And secondly, it's the key to achieving our goals and realizing our dreams. Success is the result of consistency. Oh, and I want to thank you, listener Kathy, who I heard from a couple months ago, that she found my podcast and she binged them all, right? So now she's going to hear if I repeat. So thank you, Kathy, for not only keeping me going, but giving me a new, I guess, motivation with the new year to keep going, but also giving me a reason why to continue to create new content, because you'll know and you'll bust me, won't you? So thank you. Oh, and I'd love to hear from any of you. Like, where are you? Where are you in the country, in the world? And what are you sticking with? Oh, I've shared many times with this. The biggest thing about sticking with something is Simon Sinek's book, Start with Why. Yes, it really hits home. Why? As this year came around and I'd already missed a couple weeks at the end of last year, I was like, why? Why do I want to keep going? Is anyone out there, right? But remembering your purpose can fuel your determination. Even when things are going tough, it wasn't like, just things were going, right? It wasn't necessarily tough, but it's also important to break your journey into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate the progress along the way. most importantly, celebrate yourself with a support system that believes in your dreams and you, right? It gets to be daunting some weeks trying to think about what the hell am I going to say this week or even next week? Who's even out there listening? Kathy, am I even helping anyone? Right. And, the biggie, why keep going for me, for you, any of you? It's like over the years I've heard from people and it just helps me keep going. And that I appreciate. And I want to hear from all of you too. It's about practicing for me, practicing what I preach. Keep going. And I did an activity years ago. Writing this podcast helped me think about this. I asked them, all my clients. So I'll ask you, what's your Everest? So a lot of people had to think about that one. What is your Mount Everest? So they had to answer, and then they had to decide, where are you on that climb, in that journey? So, I had at the time over the years, clients share that they're almost to the top, and then you feel like they just slid back down with the avalanche of that shit storm that hit and just took them back down. And sometimes it's like, fuck it, why keep going? Well, it's called life. And life affects your business and vice versa. And that's why I keep going to help you keep going. I don't have success unless you have success. And remember, we're all in this together. I've worked with clients that talked about all kinds of things where, their Everest might be their fitness journey. Their routine has been a struggle. They're just bored or they're frustrated. And I've been there myself. I've talked about that over the years of, getting into running and never really feeling like I was where I wanted to be. And then after this last blip in the matrix, I'm like, I was a hell of a lot closer to the top of Mount Everest than I am now. But remembering why I keep going with my fitness journey. Why do you keep going with your fitness journey? Why did my client years ago talk about hers? With all the things going on in life, what are you doing with your personal life? It doesn't have to be a fitness journey or eating healthy or anything like that. What are you doing personally that you're climbing Mount Everest to achieve? Yeah, sometimes you just have to stop and pause and maybe you didn't achieve your goal at the end of 2023. Why? Why are you working on your fitness or your health or your fill in the blank, right? Think about where you were 10 years ago. Think about where you were 15 years ago. Because sometimes just thinking about last year and what you didn't achieve, you have to still remember you're still a hell of a lot further ahead than where you were. And, I've recently had my own mind shift myself with saying, okay, I don't want to go back and get in shape. I don't want to get back to where I was. I want to be better. I want to feel better than I did. I want to look better than I did. I want to be stronger than I was, right? So I encourage you all to stop saying, I want to get back to where I was. No, back is back there. We're going ahead. So anyway, and then the business side. There are times when I've had clients go in and get a job after a coaching session and they were just stressed and overwhelmed, and not because I stressed them out, because they were stressed and overwhelmed, and we were working on something and they just were like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready, and they go get a job and then quit like 2 days later, or not even go to training and be like, okay, I'm ready now. But getting through that shit storm, that mental stress of what if, right? What if this doesn't work? What if I don't make it? What if, that no one buys, no one hires me? Well, I mean, 29 years ago when I started my first business, I'm sure I thought about that. The day I decided to switch gears into coaching, I never thought about, what if no one hires me? Now, over the course of 10 years, especially during the vid, there were some times where I was like, what if we never come out of this and no one ever hires me as a coach again? But I still had clients, and that's what I had to focus on. What do you have still? What's working? So switching that mindset from what if it doesn't work to what if I am successful? What if people love my products? People love my podcast or my services. What do people love? The clothes you're designing, the hair you do, the golf lessons you teach, whatever it is you do. What if they fucking love it? Right? So remember why you started, no matter what it is. Okay. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. You just have to stick to it, and you have to remember why. If you're stuck in this state of worry and anxiety and keep wondering why keep going, like I have a couple times with this podcast, not my business, my podcast, you're not alone. Remember that. Two things. You're not alone, and you started for a reason. So let's go find that reason. Okay. So take a few hours. You got a couple challenges this week. So take a few hours or a day to you and write down. I personally love the giant Post-it notes. I should have mine's over there out of the camera, but it's right there. I love the giant Post-it notes on the wall or hanging on the door, and write down what you love about what you do. What motivates you about your business or the goal? Because just, you might be thinking about giving up something. It might just be on a goal that you haven't achieved, not just a business or a job or anything like that. But, maybe it's something you just want to give the old middle finger to. Sometimes we get so caught up in not achieving what we haven't done that we mentally focus on that not part, and we aren't focusing on how far we've come and break it down. We just get caught up in too much. We've got to break it down. So, on the fitness side, it's so easy to say, I got to lose that 10 pounds. Well, quit staring at yourself in the mirror and just looking at yourself in disgust and focusing on the weight you haven't lost or the progress you haven't made. And think about doing your best, what you did today that was good or was healthy, or you walked or you whatever, again, fill in the blank, and I'm talking to myself, I beat myself up on occasion too. It's like, all right, instead of that cheat meal, I had a whole cheat day. Okay, well, let's do it over tomorrow and let's get it right. Okay. You didn't get there where you are overnight. So unfortunately, you're not going to get where you want to go overnight. Again, my third book, The Magic Pill, spoiler alert, the magic pill is work, is effort, is sticking with it. So, think about if one of your goals was you weren't able, or you didn't increase your sales or your income like you wanted to. Stop sitting there wondering if anyone is going to ever hire you again or buy any more products, or maybe you came out with a new product or service that no one really jumped onto. Trust me, I've been there. I had an app for a while. No one freaking used it. That was a lot of money and time and effort, but it's okay. I tried it, right? So stop sitting there thinking about closing up shop and getting a job, or, instead dig in and start asking questions, start researching, start networking if you don't. Marketing, think about what you can do new or different, because we all know the definition of insanity, right? So let me give you the actual badass challenge for the week. Reflect on something you've been struggling to stick with, or you're just wondering why keep going. Doesn't matter if it's a goal, a project, a habit. Reconnect with your why. Write it down. Reconnect with your why. Break it into actionable steps and recommit to your journey. Remember every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your dreams and is a little success. All right, you got it? Got it? All right, I look forward to hearing from you. Either email me at Sandi@sandiballard.com, post in the comments, direct message me. What's your why? What is something you've realized you've had a hard time sticking with? Or maybe you, on the other side, you're sticking with something, and what is keeping you going? Would love to hear that. And if you're struggling, message me. Let's talk. All right. I want to hear about how we can get you dust something off, re-energize the fire in you, light that little fire in you. All right. So today, thank you so much. And again, it was like this big light bulb, and I was like, this is the end of 8 years of doing this. So, like I said, cheers to 8 years, cheers to 8 more years. So, that's a wrap of today's episode of No More Excuses. Thank you, all badasses, for being part of this incredible journey. And don't forget, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a review. And until next time, this is Sandi, the Badass Business Coach. Here's to sticking with something and achieving your wildest dreams. Stay badass. Cheers.